While my teacher looked through her bag, she suddenly yelled, "Did someone eat my candy?" "Maybe," Gabe said from the back row. And that's when Ms. Robinson's face went from annoyed to absolutely terrified. She dropped her bag and gripped the edges of her desk so hard her knuckles turned white. "Maybe? Maybe." Her voice sounded like she was about to cry. She started pacing back and forth, muttering, "Oh my God," over and over while sweat beaded on her forehead. The whole class exchanged nervous glances because we'd definitely eaten the candy. Gabe found the tin in Ms. Robinson's bag when she went to the bathroom and passed it around thinking our teacher wouldn't care about a few missing mints. They were these small white pills that tasted kind of bitter, but we figured they were those fancy European candies she was always talking about from her trips abroad. Who ate them? She was practically screaming now, scanning each of our faces like she was trying to memorize who looked guilty. "Please tell me you didn't swallow them. Please tell me you just sucked on them and spit them out." But we all knew nobody spits out candy, especially not when you're trying to sneak it during class. One girl finally raised her hand, her voice barely a whisper. "We passed them around after I saw them in your bag. We thought you wouldn't mind since you're always sharing your snacks with us." Ms. Robinson's legs seemed to give out, and she collapsed into her chair, her face going from red to ghostly pale in seconds. How many of you ate them?" Her hands were shaking as she pulled out her phone, fumbling with the screen. About 15 hands went up slowly, mine included. "They weren't that good anyway." She started calling someone, and our math teacher, Mr. Carlos, came in to help. She saw how panicked Ms. Robinson was, but as soon as she whispered something to her, I've never seen someone's expression change so fast. Mr. Carlos's eyes went wide, his mouth dropped open, and he actually took a step back like Ms. Robinson had slapped him. "You brought those to school," Mr. Carlos said, loud enough for the front row to hear. "In a candy tin?" The two teachers were having this intense whispered argument while we all sat there trying to figure out what we'd eaten. Some kids were already texting their parents under their desks, worried. "We need to get the nurse. Now," Mr. Carlos said, heading for the door, but Ms. Robinson grabbed his arm. "Wait, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe they didn't take enough." But Mr. Carlos yanked his arm free. "Are you insane? We're calling the nurse and you're going to explain this to administration." He stormed out while Ms. Robinson stood there looking like she might faint. Some kids started worrying too. Did we eat poison? Are we going to die? Some of the girls started crying, and within seconds half the class was in full panic mode. Before anyone could respond, the door burst open, and not just the nurse, but two paramedics rushed in with their equipment. They started taking our vitals, asking us questions about how we felt, if anyone was dizzy or nauseous. The whole time, Ms. Robinson stood in the corner looking absolutely mortified. Then our principal stormed in, his face redder than I'd ever seen it. He walked right up to Ms. Robinson, and even though he was trying to whisper, his voice carried across the room. "You gave them what?" The paramedics were now on their radios calling for backup. Parents were getting automated calls from the school, and sirens were getting closer. Everyone was convinced we were dying. Parents started showing up too, demanding to know what she gave us. More parents arrived as the paramedics continued their examinations, the hallway turning into chaos with worried mothers and fathers demanding answers. After what felt like hours but was probably 20 minutes, our principal got everyone's attention. "Guys, everyone calm down. Your students aren't going to die." All the parents were furious, ready to tear this guy apart. "What the hell did you give my daughter?" one dad shouted, trying to grab his shirt. "Relax, she's gonna be fine. She just won't get pregnant." Everyone went silent. "What?" the girl's dad said. "It was birth control. They'll survive." Everyone stared at each other in shock and then burst out laughing.